Kante Italia, Jordan Nasigar Son, Wiper, Ochinia, Saskatoon, Minikwan, Miigwats. Hello, my name is Jordan, and I am from Treaty 4 Territory, Wiper First Nations, and I'm currently living here in Treaty 6 Territory in Saskatoon. And I am CHEPs' new Indigenous Food Sovereignty Facilitator, and I will be delivering a land acknowledgement that I wrote for us. Welcome, everyone. We are grateful to be sharing this time and space together now. In this gratitude, we are mindful of the ways that this land has cared for many generations, and that we are all connected here and now by the land of Treaty 6 Territory. The spirit of the land that holds us all with such generous hospitality for all those who have and will call this place home. The Cree, the Anishinaabe, Lakota, Dakota, Nakota, Dene, the Métis homeland, settler, and newcomers. And in the spirit of reconciliation, we acknowledge that this has not always been walked in a good way. Would we be reconciled to and with each other, the land, water, air, and all our non-human relatives in a good way? Would all of the ancestors of these lands be honored by our mindfulness and intentions in this place? Because much as we are hosting you, we are always being hosted by the land. For we are all treaty people as long as the grass grows, the water flows, and the wind blows. Kakio Miawaka Maganak. Hi hi.
Hi, I'm Gord Andersoff, Executive Director at CHEP Good Food, and I'm here to welcome you to the online program of our Empty Bowls event, and thank you all very much for buying a ticket. So CHEP is we're a nonprofit and we work around food security issues. So we do some programming, we provide some services, some education, some advocacy. So we work around issues related to food in the community for everyone, but we do focus on vulnerable people as well. So Empty Bowls is an international event that highlights food insecurity issues and issues around people having access to healthy, affordable, personally suitable food. So in Saskatoon, it's run 3 times previous to this, always an in-person event, but with COVID, we had to switch this to a virtual takeaway event. So it's a fundraiser. It relies on people to donate their time and resources, and all the money will be put to use by CHEP for our programs and services. So like any event, we rely on a lot of people. There's donors who provide the bowls and napkins and soup and bread and baking. We have volunteers in the community who put in time and effort, staff, and all the ticket purchasers as well. And then we're also having a silent auction, and people have contributed to that. So like any community-based organization, we need resources, financial and people and otherwise, to do our thing. And for the most part, we all rely on grants for a big part of that, and donations and fundraising. So we need money from different sources, and when we get money from donations or events like this, it's not tied to things. Whereas grants, we have to comply with what's involved. So sometimes we can't spend it on people or infrastructure, but with donations, we can put the money to what we feel is the best use. Yeah, so I think, the pandemic has affected everyone in the community in different ways, but like any crisis, you find that it affects the most vulnerable the most. There's more disparity in society. People that don't have access to resources are struggling finding food, shelter, other services. All the community-based organizations are overwhelmed. So what it highlights is the weaknesses that already exist. Well, just again, a big thank you for all of you that are contributing to this in every way. I should recognize Nutrien. They're our flagship sponsor, and they put down some starter money without which we wouldn't have been able to do this at all. So I want to thank you all for being here, and also there's an online auction, a silent auction that will occur for a week after this event, and there's information in your packages. And thank you very much.
I'm Bryn Rollick. I live in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and I'm the chair of the CHEP board. I'm also a small business entrepreneur. I have the Night Oven Bakery, Venn Coffee Roasters, and Darkside Donuts as a community of organizations that work together. I joined the CHEP board 3 years ago, and it was at a time when I had some available energy and space in my life. I was at the time a volunteer in the Good Food Box program on Wednesdays, packing boxes, and there was a call out for board members, and I thought, hey, I like packing boxes. I can also sit through meetings and help get things done. So that's just kind of shifted into a different role. The whole reason for the Night Oven Bakery is to keep a traditionally commodified grain ingredient that's shipped all over the world and keep that in our local diet and in our local economy. I talk about a local food economy, so we try to support and connect with every ingredient we use. If there is a local connection and aspect where we can build that relationship and get it from a local producer and put it into what we do day to day, then we do. So those are just different ways that that we try to connect in those. Around the same month that I got that the call out for the board members happened, my son told me about a fellow that was in his class. I think he was in maybe grade 5 at the time, and how he never had a lunch and that he would always get the brown bag lunch from the teacher. And I didn't know what that was, and so I asked more about it, and then I found out. I was like, oh, CHEP makes bag lunches for kids in the public school system all over the school, and kids don't have food and they get them food. Even as a volunteer, I didn't know. And it was quite a eye-opener for me. That brings me to why people should support CHEP, is just that CHEP is so connected and integrated into getting people good food. I fell in love with bread a long time ago. It's all the romantic, philosophical ideas aside, it's just something that's so simple and is integral in all different cultures around the whole world, and it's really interesting to me to have a small part in creating that for myself, selfishly, and then also for people that come in and connect with it through the business. It's bread is a really rich, deep thing, but it's also super simple. It's flour, water, salt. So I like that contrast of something that's so complicated yet it's also so simple.
My name is Tisha Paget, and I own Delish by Tish Cafe in the Newtana area, and just celebrated my 8th anniversary last week. Yeah. Well, we haven't had anyone inside the cafe since March 17th. That was a decision made right off the bat for the physical and mental safety of my staff and customers. There were so many unknowns that I had some workers who were uncomfortable, and so we just went with, we made a decision and we haven't varied since that day. The first time that I was asked to take part in it, I was so thrilled because my original business model included all kinds of different charity events, and I had come up with one of these on my list of things that I would love to do within my business. It's in alignment with everything I believe in, and soup is what I do, and I just had this great idea to have a fundraiser, and then ta-da, you guys were doing it, and I was so happy to just be the soup person. I didn't have to take care of all the other details. I think that it's so important because there's great people doing the kind of work that I would love to be doing. If I didn't have a restaurant, I would love to work for a organization like CHEP. People having enough to eat seems so basic of a right as a human, and they're doing a great job. So I would like to help in any way I can. So I just love that they have come up with a fundraiser that involves soup. That's my passion. I love every part about it. I dream about it. I obsess. I take apart things when I eat in a restaurant. I try to steal all kinds of ideas. I love how soup is like a metaphor of just the way the community can be. You got all kinds of everything all over the place. You don't have to be the shiniest vegetable, to be the most tasty. Everyone gets a chance in the soup, put it all together, and it comes out wonderful, and it feeds people, it's comforting, it's the easiest way to give a big group of people a hug, especially now when we can't hug. I just love making soup.
Hi, my name is Kerry Mcnabb. I was an intern at CHEP previously this year. I feel that CHEP is an important part of the community and the people it serves. A few things I learned during my internship was to connect with the community and the soil we walk on. I met some good connections through this internship, such as other interns and youth from Saskatoon. I believe the CHEP Empty Bowls fundraiser is an amazing event for the community it serves.
I'm here with John Stewart as part of the Empty Bowls program. And maybe John, just introduce yourself.
Yeah, good to be with you, Gord. Name's John Stewart. I worked for CHEP Good Food for a good number of years, from 2013 to 2017, I suppose, in a number of different roles. But at some point, my wife and I moved out to Vancouver Island in Cowichan Territory here in the Cowichan Valley, which is where we get to live and work and play now.
So do you miss CHEP?
I do, and the thing is, I do get to keep in touch with some of the key staff, yourself included, Gord, that I became good friends with. And I think one of the hardest things for me when I was realizing that it was the end of an era, I suppose, was recognizing all those relationships that had been built up, not only within CHEP, but around Station 20 West in general, and the core communities, all of the different organizations we were working alongside were, going to be so much further away, and I'd feel disconnected and off on my own. So that took a lot to get over. But that being said, I've definitely tried my best to keep my finger on the pulse and follow along with all the good work that CHEP's been doing, and the shifts that have to come within the reality of working the not-for-profit sector, and especially with COVID-19. So I definitely do, and I wouldn't be where I am if I hadn't have started working with CHEP Good Food.
Yeah, so what are some of the things that you were able to take from CHEP and transfer to your new career?
Well, I started working with CHEP with a coworker. We job shared, myself and Iva Vilnius with the Good Food Box program, previously Jonathan Vilnius. And Iva knew real quick that I wasn't most comfortable cold calling, reaching out to a random person, even if we'd talked before and hopping on the phone. It just wasn't my skill set. And so working with CHEP and the Good Food Box program, that was a huge amount of what I had to do, is just having the confidence to call up and know what I had to say, being prepared, and just engaging in a friendly way, which is something I think comes inherently for me. But that's definitely something that I've brought along with me, and the importance of being able to develop those relationships in an organized environment where you are trying to meet demands and deliverables and that sort of thing. And so I think working through that and becoming more comfortable and having to do public speaking, leading the Good Food Box packing day, or giving presentations in schools, or working alongside Reconciliation Saskatoon, you just had to get comfortable in those groups and speaking up and loudly, which is never something I was able to do. So that's a skill that I continue with me. And being an engagement coordinator, you've got to be open to approaching people you don't know, or getting on a phone and giving a call to someone to talk about something that you might not be as entirely knowledgeable as you'd like, but that's just fine, because you're just being open and willing to receive some new information and make those new connections.
The folks are gonna see you performing a music video later on, or maybe before this interview. I'm not sure how this will play out in the end, but can you tell us a little bit about putting that video together?
Yeah, for sure, Gord. So I, I was really thankful that that CHEP invited me out. I have a music project called Lip Forest, and as it goes, you try to expand your role as an artist, I suppose, and so I always just played guitar and sang songs, and especially during COVID, how do you expand upon that? So someone was kind enough to gift me a keyboard, and I started playing some chords, and I said, oh, that sounds kind of like a waltz, but I didn't really know what a waltz sounded like. And I noticed on the keyboard there's a waltz percussion button, so I figure, oh, I'll push that button and see if I'm right. And sure enough, the strumming pattern went with the waltz beat on there. And yeah, one night I just started singing lyrics to it in a random way. It's how I create my songs. In the process, for some reason, figured out that there should be a dance to go along with it, and it's kind of a call out dance, similar to some of the old folk songs, or to square dancing, where they tell you how you can dance to the music. And so I put that together, and I'm not a professional dancer, and you'll notice that in the video, but I sure gave it my all and had a lot of fun. And so originally I was just going to do a quick recording of me performing the song, and that was it. But before I knew it, my mind was off, and I figured, well, I may as well put something more together for it, and ended up putting together I suppose my first attempt at making a music video since I was in grade 9 computer class. So over the 48-hour period, I went from recording the song, which I had in my mind, to filming, or to developing a play-by-play, shot-by-shot action plan for it, and then going out by myself and then with an iPhone and recording all that and fumbling my way together to try to put it together to the song so it all lined up. And it was sure a lot of fun, and especially these days during our lockdowns and whatnot, it's nice to have something to concentrate on and motivate us. And as soon as I was done, I shared it with a few people and really appreciated the feedback that was coming my way. And I'm sure it's going to lead to a bunch more opportunity for being creative like that. So yeah, it was really fun, and I always chuckle. There's definitely a certain amount of silliness to everything that I do, but it was really nice to put my mind to something like that. So I appreciate the opportunity. Hey everyone, this is Lip Forest coming to you from Cowichan Territory on Vancouver Island, where I'm very privileged to live, work, and play. I hope you're all enjoying your soup, and thank you for supporting CHEP Good Food, and thank you to CHEP for inviting me along. I've got a song for you called the Jeben Barton Waltz, and if you're feeling up for it, there's an interactive dancing experience at the end. So everyone, enjoy your soup and stay safe. I'm going to go step out and enjoy my soup too. So enjoy the song, everyone. Bye for now.
Said who's the best guy on the west side? It's Jeben Barton, Jeben Barton. And who's the best guy on the east side? It's Jeben Barton, Jeben Barton's Waltz. Said front stage, backstage, backstage, right stage, shuffle left and to the right. Said front stage, backstage, backstage, right stage, shuffle left and to the right. It's Jeben Barton's, it's Jeben Barton's waltz. It's Jeben Barton's, it's Jeben Barton's waltz. Said who's the best guy in Saskatoon? It's Jeben Barton, it's Jeben Barton. And who's the best guy when he lived in Nanaimo? It was Jeben Barton, Jeben Barton. And who's the best guy east of Edmonton? It's Jeben Barton, Jeben Barton. And who's the best guy wherever he goes? It's Jeben Barton, it's Jeben Barton's waltz. Dance with me now, front stage, backstage, backstage, the right stage, shuffle left and to the right. Said front stage, backstage, backstage, right stage, shuffle left and to the right. It's Jeben Barton's, it's Jeben Barton's waltz. It's Jeben Barton's, it's Jeben Barton's waltz. It's Jeben Barton's, it's Jeben Barton's waltz. It's Jeben Barton's, it's Jeben Barton's waltz now.
Yeah, my name is Adam. I've lived in Saskatoon my entire life. I live in the King George area. Well, I found out about CHEP when I was looking for places to volunteer, and I heard it from Quint. Well, I've helped with the market, helped fold Christmas cards, helped with the markets. I think they need volunteers so people can spread good information about CHEP and what it's about. And I volunteer because I like what they're doing for the community and with helping people find fresh food, growing local food. I feel like I have become a lot better at being social through CHEP and the people I've met. And I hope it continues to go strong for many years to come.
My name is Karen Farmer, and I live close to Station 20 West, and I've been a keen volunteer with CHEP through your community garden work and other projects you have going on. People need to eat healthy food, and you make it possible for people to grow it, save seeds, learn about growing food, selling it, buying it affordably, celebrating it, bringing community together around food. I think it's really important, the work that you're doing. Well, if you don't get lots of government and other corporate funding, you need volunteers to get the work done. And I think the benefit is that we bring a new perspective to the work that you're doing, and we can support it, and we can connect with people, a great diversity of people. I've met people. I've enjoyed being in my community garden plot with the support of CHEP. I've met all sorts of new neighbors. I've enjoyed being in the park and learning how to grow food. CD Saturdays have been a big part of my life, and I've learned a lot and met a lot of like-minded people about the importance of saving seed and growing local food. I enjoy it. I enjoy meeting people, and I see the impact that your community market has, for example. It's really low-cost, healthy, fresh food, and it's not easy to get around this neighborhood. So it's nice that I can play a little part in getting it to new moms or to new immigrants or to people that want good, healthy food. Well, I think it's a wonderful organization. I'm very glad it's gone for over 30 years, and I hope it goes for another 100. I think it's a very important institution for the city, and food security is the core of health and community and families, and I think it's very important. Come to the fundraiser, support CHEP. Thank you.
Throughout my experience in the education system growing up, I had learned a lot about sciences and maths through a very theoretical perspective. I'd never felt I was very successful in these topics or capable of learning them as much as I would like, and the ASCII project gave me a lot of opportunities to approach these topics in math and sciences through a very experiential, participatory way in workshops and day-to-day activities that by the end of the summer I realized I was capable of learning. The ASCII project is very focused on cultural integration and cultural knowledge and learning, and I think the project gave me a lot of opportunity and freedom through my passion projects to incorporate elements of my culture in the deaf and hard of hearing community that are often overlooked by communities and dismissed. We have our own cultural history and customs and languages that I often had felt very insecure expressing publicly or educating people about. And the ASCII project helped me integrate my culture into the project in a very safe environment. During the ASCII internship, I got to learn a lot of skills that I think I otherwise wouldn't have gotten the opportunity to learn. I got to take on the role of entrepreneurship and connection building within the community, which is a skill that I don't think a lot of part-time jobs as a young person really help you develop or give you the opportunity to develop. I got to build partnerships with community organizations and other people within the community that I don't think I would have gotten the opportunity to otherwise. And this has definitely helped me in my current jobs and my future endeavors with school to be able to have those connections and confidence working with partnerships. And I don't think without the internship I would have gotten that opportunity. So I really appreciate that. I still use a lot of these skills today in my gardening, which I've continued with the support of CHEP. This last summer, without the internship, the organization still gave me the opportunity to be involved in gardening in the community, which I think was very valuable to me to maintain the connection and support of the community and being able to give back to the community. I think the biggest impact for me throughout the project was gaining the encouragement of the other participants in the organization, the program itself, and how it's established to express publicly my culture. deaf and hard of hearing people have a culture and a language and customs and a history that's very unique. The deaf and hard of hearing culture and community is something that is often either misrepresented or dismissed, and people don't really gain the access to the information or are willing to learn of it as a culture in itself. And the encouragement and empowerment that CHEP gave me through the gardening programs and through the internship to publicly express and kind of educate about my culture and bring it into the project through the use of sign language and deaf customs, and being able to educate and build partnerships in the community with.
Hi, my name is Amy Redeberg, and I'm a board director here at CHEP Good Food Inc. I'm going to take a few minutes to talk about radical generosity. And it's important to acknowledge before I get started that if you're watching this as part of the premier Empty Bowls event, we thank you for your support of a ticket purchase. I was raised by a single mother here in Saskatoon and later moved to rural small towns of Biggar and Langham. I want to talk about what I learned from my mom about radical generosity. When I was a child, my mom, my younger brother, and I lived in the community of Mcnabb Park, which was a low-income housing community. When I was growing up, we didn't have much. I remember sleeping on the floor because I didn't have a mattress. But I always remember my mom making an effort to give generously to others. For example, my mom would routinely have Saturday morning brunches, complete with pancakes for all the neighborhood kids in Mcnabb Park. And later on, she was a school bus driver in Biggar, and she would give kids on her bus route birthday presents. I don't think my mom knew her generous acts would have an impact on me, but I noticed all of the time she gave and gave without expecting anything in return. Those memories of radical generosity left a lasting impression on me. I knew that my mom didn't have a lot to give, but she gave and gave anyway. As a family, we counted on support from the community throughout my childhood, but my mom was always looking for ways to give back, even when it may have been very painful to do. Now, in times of extreme crisis and loss, we need to consider radical generosity to support the most vulnerable populations in our community. The act of giving can be truly joyful. I feel this is why my mom gave so much. The feeling you get when you give to others is indescribable. Giving brings joy. As Canadians, it's sometimes frowned upon to talk about and ask for money. But CHEP Good Food Inc. can't do good work in Saskatoon without your continued financial support. So tonight, I invite you to consider making a donation. I want you to think about radical generosity and stretching a bit more than what feels comfortable. Everyone's stretch will feel a little bit different. It could be $5, it could be $50, it could be $5,000, it could be a volunteer commitment. On this special love-themed Empty Bowls event, we want to invite you to make a gift to help keep CHEP going throughout 2021. There are several ways to do this, which are displayed on the screen. On behalf of CHEP's fundraising committee, I humbly say thanks if you're able to give now or later this evening. Thank you so very much.
Hi, my name is Jericho Belanzik. I came to Canada in '97. In Bosnia, in the city of Sarajevo, I was born and raised. I went to private classes for music with a teacher whose name was Milivoj Praljak. In Canada, I recorded 2 albums, one with Christian Christmas songs and the other one with classical music for guitar. I would like to play 2 songs. One is called Flamenco motif with Fandango, and the other is Bulería motif. The second song is a Buleria motif. It's named after a very famous Spanish dance that originates from Spanish flamenco music. But this is rather a motif, not literally Buleria.